Hello everyone, I'm Nessa and this is Ceramic Shenanigans. Today is a jewelry episode, so I'm excited to show you a few different things about electroplating. At work we are sent an earring and pendant set to repair and plate in 24 karat gold. The metal turned out to be Electrum, so it required me to plate it with copper, nickel, and then 24 karat gold, so I figured I'd share it with you today. The process I'm about to tell you about is called immersion electroplating. Electroplating is the process of adhering layers of a noble metal onto another metal's surface. I have a link to a very good video by Gold Plating Services that shows you step by step the setup you need, so if you want to take a look at it, I'll put a link in the description below. Electrum is a naturally occurring alloy of gold and silver with trace amounts of copper and other metals. Its color ranges from pale to bright yellow depending on the amount of gold and silver in it. Electrum was used as early as the 3rd millennium BC in Egypt to coat the top of ancient Egyptian pyramids and obelisks. It was also used in the making of ancient drinking vessels. The first metal coins ever made were of Electrum and date back to the beginning of the 6th century BCE. So here we have our setup. The top left beaker contains Electrocleaner that removes residue from the pieces, followed by a dip in water to wash off the solution. Next it goes to an acid bath for 15 seconds, followed with a second rinse to remove remaining acid. Third step is our first solution. In this case, we're starting with copper, followed by, again, a third rinse. Okay, now on to the temps. The Electrocleaner should be at 150 degrees Fahrenheit, acid is at room temp, and the third temperature varies on the solution, so with copper we want it at 140 degrees. So let's wait for it to get hotter. Now everything's hot enough. We have the pendant in first and it's going to sit in the Electrocleaner for at least 1 minute. I have the voltage at 6 during this step. The pendant is referred to as the cathode and the U-shaped metal you see in the first cylinder is the anode. When both electrodes are in the solution and the electric current is flowing, the positively charged anode splits into ions that deposit onto the negatively charged cathode. This appears as bubbles forming on the surface. These bubbles form underneath all contaminants, causing them to lift from the surface of the material during electrocleaning. It then moves to the acid. I'll turn the voltage down to 3 during this step. The acid charges the cathode surface and prepares it for plating. You want to keep it moving while it's in this stage. It helps to make sure that the piece is completely activated. You can have it hanging if that's your setup, but I would leave it in the acid for 30 seconds if you do. Make sure you're rinsing it between steps with the designated rinse baths. Now we're moving on to the plating solution, in this case, copper. Now you can see with this I'm using a copper anode. The solution is basically taking the copper from the anode and adhering it onto the pendant, fusing it to the piece on a molecular level. I'll keep it in the solution for 1 to 2 minutes, depending on the surface area. I'm moving it slightly to make sure the copper can reach every nook and cranny. Don't forget to rinse for a 3rd time after. Between steps, inspect the piece for any areas that have a matte finish or didn't plate before moving on. Next we're moving to the nickel stage. I'll keep each piece in the Electrocleaner for another minute and follow all the same steps as before. Electroclean, rinse, acid, rinse, nickel, and rinse again. The nickel solution is set to a voltage of 3, same as the copper, and I'll keep it in the solution for 2 minutes. The voltage can vary, but I've found that keeping it at 3 ensures a nice adhesion. And finally we're on to the gold plating. There are several carats that you can plate in for yellow gold. The client wants this in a high carat, so I'll use 24 karat heavy plating solution for a long lasting coverage. Again, I'll follow the same steps as before. Electroclean, rinse, acid, rinse, 24 karat gold, and rinse again. You can see how fast the process works. It only takes a few seconds for the gold to fuse to the cathode. The timing for this step depends on the amount of solution you want deposited. I want this plating to last, so I'll use a heavy solution and I'll keep it in for 1 to 2 minutes. Afterwards, I'll rinse and steam the pieces and check for any imperfections. Once they pass inspection, they're ready to go. Thank you for checking out my video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe down below to be notified of any more future shenanigans. Have a good one!